Hi guys!
What's up guys? We're the Travelbucks and in today's video we're asking the question.
Should you take your motorhome to Morocco?
But we are in the UK again and it's bloody freezing, so let's jump inside, but get on. So in this video we're going to cover the pros, the cons, and finally a load of myth-busting facts about Morocco. Aren't we?
We are.
So let's start with
The pros?
the pros. Let's go with the pros. And the number one pro, I would say, the absolute pro of Morocco is its people.
Yeah.
The locals that are in Morocco really made the trip for us. It made it awesome. It made it authentic. Just learning the culture and their ways.
Yeah, we never had a bad experience, did we? Once we crossed through like the customs part of it, we had just positive experiences with everybody. From the older generation to the children. Just, yeah, awesome. Everyone was so welcoming and friendly. Sometimes you thought you saw like a stern face, but as soon as you gave a smile, or Dan learnt quite a bit of Arabic by the end of it, yeah, you threw some of that in there. Their faces just changed. They lit up and just really nice and pleasant, weren't they?
Yeah, and whilst we're there, little side tip, learn a little bit of the language. You know, it's an Arab country. Learn Arabic.
Yeah.
It's Arabic, isn't it? Learn Arabic. A little bit of Arabic goes a long way, you know? It's not a French country, guys. Don't go there thinking I can speak a bit of French, I'll be fine. It's not a French country. You know, they speak Arabic. Learn a bit of Arabic, make a bit of effort, and it will go a long way.
Definitely.
Second pro.
The food.
The cuisine, yeah.
I
think the food in general, yeah.
Yeah.
The cuisine as in a tagine and a couscous.
Yeah, you top two.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they do get a little bit repetitive, but it's more than just the cuisine, isn't it? It's the local produce.
Yeah, everything's so fresh, and being in the van, especially, like staying at the same spots as like everybody else, really. There's obviously local people that tap into that, and they'll come to your van and ask if you want a tagine and what have you. And they all make them slightly different with different spice mixes, so they do taste slightly different.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Like, we've obviously bought our own tagine in the end, and we're cooking our own tagines and stuff, but it's always nice when someone else makes it for you. It's very affordable, as is everything really over there. Yeah, so we, as a whole, we love the food over there. So I think, like I say, it's just really fresh, and the bread aside, it's very good for you, I think.
Yeah, I think something else as well, it's not just how it tastes. I think what makes Morocco so special is going like as you're driving through and past these little villages, just seeing everyone hand farming all of the local produce. You hardly see any tractors like you do in Europe and in the UK. Everything's hand planted, hand picked. It's just so it's just original, isn't it? It's the OG. It's just unmatched, it's unbeaten, and it really does show in their vegetables and fruits. So
yeah, just markets.
So whilst we're talking about the local farms, I think it takes on to another pro, which is the landscapes. It's very different than what we're used to in Europe and the UK, isn't it, AJ?
Yeah, absolutely. But for saying it's like one large country, you've got really nice beaches, you've got mountain range, you've got desert. So like there is like a bit of everything apart from grass and
fields.
Really water. But it's a dry country, you know. It's it's I can just say you're in one country and you can have a bit of everything, really, can't you?
Yeah, the beaches, mate, are banging.
Yeah.
The beaches are bloody lovely, and the sea's really clean. Let me tell you, the sunsets on that west coast are unbelievable. They hit different, my G. You have got to go and see it just for that, you know?
I think that just takes you nicely onto beaches. We had beaches.
Okay, yeah.
Because the beaches are lovely.
Beaches.
Obviously being West Coast, a bit like Portuguese coast, it's very windy, so it's great for surfers. We aren't surfers, but
Sadly not.
you were going to give it a go, then didn't. But yeah, the beaches are beautiful. And they're lovely because you've got camels on there, you've got horses on there, you see loads of donkeys, there's loads of animals, it's lovely. I went horse riding, which was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you take the wind, if you go on a nice settled day, then the beaches are beautiful.
Yeah. And something else that is a massive pro is the markets and the souks, the medinas and the souks.
And more so on the villagey sides. Obviously, travelling by van, we're not just going into the tourist hotspots as like the big cities.
Big cities, yeah.
So like the actual village markets where they are selling, I suppose, like your tagine pots, and they have like the clothes bit. They literally have a bit of everything. But it's where the locals shop every week for their fresh produce, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they make, sell
I think
their wares.
if you're going to go, you need to go to a city and you need to go and see the markets there and go and experience the hustle, the bustle, the energy.
Yeah, that's the big Medinas.
But they're a lot more, like mainstream.
Yeah, for the tourists, yeah.
For the tourists. Whereas if you go to, for example, Walidia,
yeah,
the suit there were
the little
banging on it.
Yeah, it was really nice.
It had literally anything and everything you could think of was at that bloody market. Like anything, guys.
That's where we bought our tagine pot, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they're just lovely
Such
to walk
a good
around.
experience.
You can literally spend hours. And the fresh produce is so colourful, isn't it? Because the oranges are amazing. They're the tangerines, or what are they? Yeah, little oranges.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And it's just so colourful and fresh and smells amazing.
And a little handy tutu tip for you guys is make sure that you walk around with your calculator out in your hand so that when you can barter with them, not that really, half the time you don't barter because it's that cheap,
not on
but
food.
when you are bartering, it's good to just show them a number and be like,
Are you happy with that?
shake my hand. So it's definitely worth having your calculator out at the market. It's cheap, guys. And it's very van friendly, isn't it?
Absolutely.
They go hand in hand there. We put them down as two different points, but I think they go
because if you're
hand
living in a van
hand.
and you're travelling by van, you want it to be cheap, let's face it. And they are both that. They're geared up for vans. They're very accepting of the van community. They, I suppose, to a big element, they rely on our tourism for their country, certainly in the smaller villages that aren't getting people flying in. So, they're very accommodating, and for the most part, it is very cheap, especially in comparison to Europe. Fuel was cheap. The food in the markets and stuff are cheap. Supermarket stuff, no. If you're wanting stuff that's obviously branded, that's come from Europe, then it's not going to be cheap, obviously, because you're paying a premium for that to be imported. But all your local stuff that's homegrown and stuff, that's really super cheap. So that's great. And then accommodating for van life, aren't they?
Yeah.
We heard stories before we went about getting moved on and stuff like that, but for the most part we did actually use campsites because we went before Christmas where it was quieter. So we never had any problems with parking or anything like that, did we?
Yeah, just to add to that, it's kind of hard not to use a campsite over there when they're as cheap as they are.
Oh, not all campsites, was it? It was guardian parking as well.
Yeah,
so it's like
guarded parking.
Yeah, guarded parking. So it's secure parking, but without the campsite facilities. So there's not necessarily a toilet. But I mean, those kind of places were probably averaged of like, I don't know, £3-4 a night.
Where was your favourite park up?
To Fruit.
To Fruit, yeah.
And it was like £1.20 a night.
To Fruit has got to be the best park up we went to.
Best park, just the best village.
It
the
had
best
everything,
experience
didn't it?
for us, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was like the highlight, really, for me.
We will. What 3 words? That's a Fruit car park.
Yeah.
Just don't park in our space.
It's a massive park up, to be fair.
It's huge.
It is huge.
But it had everything come to you. Then it had food.
Yeah, people wanted
garage
to do food.
services, repairs,
The bloke came round with the water to deliver water to your van, and he washed your van.
Washing.
Literally everyone comes to you, like I say, offering their services, obviously wanting to make money from your tourism, basically.
And it's important that you support them in doing so. You know, if you're going to go into these countries that rely so heavily on tourism, bloody support them.
Absolutely. And we did, didn't we?
We
stayed there for a
flipping
week.
did, and it was great. It made the whole trip so much better. Just getting amongst it, and yeah.
And then I would say maybe the last pro for us was probably, like, you've got to mention the climate, the weather. It was lovely. We went there in November, came back in January. So yeah, and it was lovely the whole time, didn't it? I think it rained literally for like a few minutes on a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
That was it, and that was quite a surprise to some of the locals with the rain. And other than that, I mean, I think it was over 30 on its hottest day when we were there. When we first got there was a bit of a heat wave. So it was in the 30s, low 30s. And then the lowest is, I mean, at night it does get cold, don't get me wrong. But as soon as the sun's out, it's hot.
Especially at Tefruit. Places that are at higher altitude, they do get freezing and cold at night. But for the most part, it was 20s, mid-20s
T-shirt
in the
weather
day.
in the day, yeah, beautiful.
Absolutely banging on it.
Yeah.
So can't grumble at that. So.
Absolutely.
And with that, let's move to the cons, AJ. Let's move to the Comic Con cons.
So I'm just going to go on from the climate.
That is also a con.
Yeah, because it is just so dry. And obviously, we knew we were going to a country where there's the desert, and we knew it was going to be dry. Obviously, the country's been in drought for many, many years. But it's just like the things that you don't necessarily think about. So I had dry and cracked sore lips for like the majority of the whole time.
We all did. Listen,
did.
right? If you're going to go to Morocco, take an absolute wagon full of chapsticks, guys, all right?
I thought you were going to say then.
Chapsticks.
Yeah, like your lips dry. Even to the that like your nose is sore because it's so dry.
Your nostrils crack.
Yeah, and then like... Yeah, you just shed the skin basically, which is like not attractive. And then like even my hair, like when you're washing your hair is obviously, you've washed your hair, it's clean, but then it just goes really static. It's just so dry.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's obviously not a massive con, but it's just something that we didn't necessarily realise. And then by the end of it, I think as soon as we crossed into Spain, like the humidity just like kind of like seeped into our skin, and it was just like so you could just feel the air was just different, wasn't it? And obviously spending such a long period of time in Morocco, it kind of just like it became a con. And maybe like after a week's trip it wouldn't, but yeah.
Something else I would recommend, another con, guys, is the litter. Now, if you're going to go to Morocco, one of the things that you guys need to just accept is they have a litter issue in that country, sadly. And that's not talking negatively on the country and its people, it's just a fact. They don't have the infrastructure we have in Europe for the most part, and the UK for the most part. And there is literally litter all over the place, and it is in mass amounts, isn't it, AJ? And
yeah, it is very it's really sad to see, to be honest, but like you say, kind of have to accept it and look past it, and it is a beautiful country. But yeah, there's kids and stuff foraging through it, and then animals as well, like the donkeys and the camels, and like eating through plastic, and it is a sad state of affairs, to be honest. But I think they are making some marked improvements, aren't they, as I guess people are more educated and the infrastructure changes with the World Cup coming up and stuff. So,
which leads us on to our next con: the strays, the animals there. I don't know what to say. There's loads of animals, loads of dogs, especially there, that are just stray, and it's heartbreaking. You can understand why so many families go to Morocco and come back with a dog.
A dog, yeah.
And if we didn't have two dogs, we probably would have come back with a dog. We could have taken about 5 dogs on that trip.
Absolutely.
And it really does pull on your heartstrings, and a lot of the animals are very well tempered that are stray. You do need to obviously be careful when approaching any stray animals. We are not saying to go and pet any stray dogs or cats, purely because of the potential issues with rabies and stuff.
Yeah.
But it is very sad, isn't it? And a lot of the dogs and cats are very nice. So.
Yeah.
Now, another negative to Morocco is also one of the positives, the souks and medinas, especially the people that just don't leave you alone.
Yeah.
And the scams.
Yeah, I think it is more so in like the more touristy areas, I suppose, isn't it? The cities. And like at the tourist destination, we got told we had to pay to go into 8 Benedou, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where that isn't the case. You don't have to pay. We went in a different entrance or something, and a guy just said you need to come into this room and pay, and it kind of seemed legit, but not really. And then it turns out we didn't need to pay, and other people that we know that were visited didn't pay. And it's literally like, I think it worked out like £1 or some £1.50 each. So it isn't a massive amount of money, but it's not the point. And obviously, it can put people off then, isn't it, visiting again? And obviously leaving bad reviews and stuff. It's not great. And then it was like at one of the first toll booths, we had the young lads, didn't we, saying like they wanted us to pay them to hand us the ticket from the toll booth thing.
Which we didn't. That we just gave them the big fist.
Well, we were aware of that con. But
the phone situation.
Yeah, we got scammed at an Inwi store trying to get Wi-Fi data things on our phones, wasn't it?
When you go to Morocco and you go to sort your phone out at an Inwi store, let them put the SIM card in your phone.
And make sure the phone is working.
And let them call themselves on it or something.
Yeah, they have to set it up.
Just make sure you have a working phone
before you leave the shop.
Before you leave, all right? And take a receipt.
Happening when we had the picnic blanket on his paw.
Another con, guys, is the roads.
They're a bit sketchy, aren't they? To say the least.
Let's just go over it, right? Because of the floods and the earthquakes that hit, there aren't a lot of roads like we have in the UK and Europe. They're literally, quite basic, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they are roads nonetheless. But some of them have been washed out and you're driving on rubble. And some of them are just non-existent. So if you're driving on tarmac in Morocco for half the time, then you're winning. But they are making an effort to redo the roads.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They as a population are such hard workers, and the roads, quite frankly, are rubbish.
Yeah, but we were there in a motorhome, and there wasn't any that we got to a point where we had to turn around or anything like that. But I just think it's something that you have to research. When you're looking at your map of which way you're going to go. Definitely. And especially depending on the weather, because if you're going into altitude, there might have been snow over that weekend or whatever, then it's definitely something you have to research, whether it's over the Facebook groups or Instagram, people that you're following that are out there and have done that route just before you type thing. Not just to go... You can't basically just drive any road at any time. You need to do your research before you leave, basically, isn't it? Because they're forever changing as well. Like, they are doing work on some of the Dadda's Gorge roads, and then so do your research.
And I think it's more than just the roads and the quality of the roads. When you get into like a city, fine. The roads, the tarmac is absolutely bloody gorgeous. But then it gets crazy.
Yeah, because there's kind of like no rules.
It's a free-for-all. If you want to turn left, you've got 5 cars to your right and 5 cars to your left, all turning left into 2 lanes.
Yeah, you just have to kind of like volley your way through.
You've got people that just run out in front of you. You got animals. You got all sorts,
You just have to be on high alert. It's like doing your hazard perception. You're like ding, 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 ding. Like there's literally everything.
I would suggest that if you're not a confident driver, keep driving to a minimum. And if you're not a confident passenger, shut up. Accept your fate.
Close your eyes like I did half the time. And definitely don't drive at night.
Don't drive
at night in Morocco. That is kind of like a
an
given,
unwritten
because
rule.
they don't really have street lights. And half of their vehicles don't either have or use them. And then also on top of that, there's horse and carts going down the road at the side of the roads that you might not see till the last minute, or they might be coming at you on the other side of the road.
Heads coming at you.
So yeah, it's just better. and safer for everybody, especially if you're in a massive motorhome compared to a tiny little donkey in a car. Just keep the motorhome off the road, let them go about their biz overnight, and just pick up your journey in the morning, because it is not.
It's just not worth it, guys.
Not the one.
Which also leads us on to insurance. You can only get third-party insurance in Morocco at the border. The majority of insurance policies does not cover you in Morocco, and therefore when you cross into the border, like us, at the border,
you just pull into one of the
booths and you buy it cash there and then, which takes us on to our next point. Not that it's a negative, like a con, but something that's really important that you know is...
It is mostly cash, isn't it, there?
It's all cash.
I would say it's 95% cash. You might be able to pay by card at some of like the big petrol stations.
It's inconvenient. Then, so.
They want your cash. That's fine. I was only going to put it as a con, really, is that obviously we're so used to, and I'm sure most European people are used to as well, that you just got that back with your card. I don't really carry much cash anymore. So we was always having to remember to go to a cash point, weren't we, to make sure that we had cash to pay for the campsite, to pay for the fuel. Yeah, it's just
inconvenient.
It's
inconvenient. Always have to top
but only because we are so reliant and so used to in our world of using our debit cards and stuff. Yeah, our phones for Google Pay and stuff. Just different, that's all. And it's just to remember, because we did get caught short a couple of times where we thought we weren't going to pay for fuel with the money that we
And there's something beautiful about it. Just it being cash, that exchange.
The
looking someone in the eye, shaking their hand, agreeing a price, shaking their hand, and handing over cash. There's something about it. It's wicked.
I wish we weren't in this digital world, to be fair, but
But a little handy tip for you, post Morocco, the post officers, the ATMs there, do not charge you for using them. So hunt them out. They're very good. They only let you take out, is it 2,000 or something?
It's like literally a small amount.
I can't remember, but once you take it out, you can put your card back in straight away and take out another load of cash, just so you know.
As long as your bank obviously allows that amount of money to come out.
Yeah.
Dog
friendly. I'm going to let you deal with this one, babes.
So I just don't find it as dog friendly, as in, because of obviously all the stray animals. It depends how your dog is, really, or your pet is with different animals. Because if you are going to go on a hike, the likelihood is there's going to be a stray dog or cat or donkey or something that wants to follow you. And obviously they are wild for the most part. Some of them have been treated quite badly as well, like have stones thrown at them and stuff. So I don't know, it's not as dog friendly, and there aren't as many like well-known like hiking routes and stuff. So it's just something to think about depending on how your pet is really with other animals. So it's not the most dog friendly place that we've been to, I would say. Yeah,
and that leads us on to another point. Hikes. Guys, if you are into your hikes, then and you're relying on apps like All Trails or Komoot, then Morocco is a really challenging country in terms of its accessibility, because there just isn't as many hikes, guys. Not even remotely close.
There must be lots of hikes.
There is obviously lots of hikes to do.
But not marked out and like not well signed and stuff.
Just walking through cattle fields or like... Yeah, you're kind of just finding your own way half the time. So I would say that is definitely a con if you're not, following the wind, Christopher Columbus. We went on a hike at Todra Gorge, and it was really, really self-explanatory.
Yeah, it was.
And it's a good job, because it wasn't on Komoot or Trails, and regardless, we didn't have any phone signal anyway. So you kind of just have to pack to go on a hike for the full day and hope for the best. If you get to a certain point, turn around. So but it's a little bit of a negative if you're massively into your hiking or your trail running like I am.
And that's what you found, wasn't it? Because you'd be following a trail, then all of a sudden it's no longer a trail. And it's like, which way do you go? Like, are you going to have to turn around and go back the way you came? Or do you kind of like persevere and keep going down there even though it's not really a trail anymore? So yeah, that element isn't as good.
Which again, this is flowing beautifully, which leads us on to our next con. The constant worrying and scare about offending locals. I didn't run for 2 weeks, or a good 10 days, did I? Because I was actually scared to wear my shorts, lads, you know? Guys, you are allowed to wear shorts and go running, you know? There are a lot of things that as a local you wouldn't do, but the locals, 99.9% of the locals are completely accepting of us not being Muslim and not being their culture, and you know, you don't go to offend anyone there. So it's important that you are aware of it.
Obviously, and be respectful.
But for the majority of the time, you're not going to offend anyone. But if, like me, you are bothered about offending people, then it is definitely a con that you're constantly thinking,
am I doing the right thing?
Am I doing the right thing? Am I okay to run here? Am I okay to wear this, you know? So that's definitely, for me, especially a bit of a con, is worrying about upsetting people.
Yeah, it was to be set to start with, but then it soon got dispelled, doesn't it? Yeah,
get used to it.
We were both fine.
That was more of a myth bust there, wasn't it, than a negative? Wrong category, Stabs. Should we finish the cons before we myth bust? Well, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We're out of cons, lads. If you're going to go to Morocco, there's certain things that you simply need to know. There's certain myths that we are going to bust here, alright?
First one?
First one, comment. I don't know how many times I've heard people say, is it safe there? Is it safe to go to Morocco? Anna, is it safe to go to Morocco?
Well, we never had any security issues or threats or
I think quite the opposite, quite frankly. I think it's a beautiful country. I think that the people there are so welcoming, especially in the more rural parts. I personally didn't like Marrakesh. It was too busy. It wasn't as authentic. I'm not a city person in general, but you know, you go to places like Sidi Kauki, Wilidia, Tafru, where was it? We were in East Village. You know, all these different places that you go to that are a little bit out of the way, a little bit smaller, a little bit quieter. The people are bloody amazing. And quite frankly, for anybody to say you're not safe in Morocco is absurd.
Yeah.
Absolutely absurd.
It's well, for me, I felt as safe as in any other country. Like, I wouldn't necessarily walk through a dark street at night by myself as a female anyway. It doesn't matter whether I was being England or Morocco. So it's as safe as anywhere else.
Yeah.
And we have a child.
We're not telling you to go and walk through alleys in the dark, by the way.
I'm just saying,
like, obviously,
from a safety
anywhere.
perspective, we're not saying it's 100% safe. There are going to be weirdos everywhere, isn't there?
Yeah.
There are going to be people that want to cause harm everywhere. But we personally never had any issues.
Especially with Savannah.
We've got a 3-year-old little girl. Like, obviously, you go with a little bit of worry anywhere new. But we never had a worry. We're always obviously going to keep an eye on where Savannah is. She's only 3. She's never going to be far from us. But yeah, we felt safe. We felt safe for Savannah. We loved it.
Anna, as a woman, are you okay to wear shorts? What are you all right to wear?
So before we went, I was very conscious about what I could wear, where I could wear it. Obviously, it was like 30 degrees when we first got there, and I really didn't want to be wearing like trousers and stuff and being really covered over. But I think it's just using your discretion, being respectful, isn't it? Like, they don't want to see your shoulders and your knees, like your chest area. I think that's correct. But
And that's fine.
And that is absolutely fine. But like at the beach, we even saw Arabic ladies, locals, younger girls and stuff in bikinis. I mean, I don't wear a bikini anymore, but a swimming costume.
I do, and I didn't feel it.
Yeah, he had his bikini on. But yeah, I think it all depends. I wouldn't walk obviously around one of the local markets in my swimming costume and a little pair of shorts. I did cover over it more and be a bit more respectful there. But I think, and then obviously if you were going to go into a mosque, which tourists aren't allowed in all of the mosques really actually, but the tourist mosque at Casablanca, you're supposed to like cover your hair, aren't you, and stuff like that. So I think it's just making sure that you're aware of them,
respectful
of their kind of like their culture and the way that they do things, and just having a bit of respect really. But as a whole, yes, when it was hot in the more touristy places, you can wear like shorts. They don't mind you wearing a t-shirt. They're very accepting of Western. They know that we're not Arabic. They know that we're not Muslim, so they don't necessarily think that we should be following their rules, if you like.
Their religion. So Anna, as a woman, did you feel unsafe at all?
Never, not once, no.
And would you suggest that it's safe for gays to go? I've seen this on Facebook, Morocco's page. Is Morocco safe for gays?
I believe so, because I'm sure there's quite
there's a lot of gays.
No, but not. I never necessarily saw it as in like Moroccan people, because they've in their religion and in their society, it's not, you don't like kiss in public and stuff like that.
You don't show affection
in public. So I never saw Moroccan men walking down the street holding hands or cuddling and stuff. Oh, I didn't. But in terms of like the van community, obviously people travelling to Morocco, I know there's loads of same-sex couples travelling, and I've not heard of any of them having negative experience or having issues, and I'm sure that has been a concern for same-sex couples, and I'm sure they feed that back within the van community that they haven't had any issues, and hopefully that encourages more people to.
So it is very safe for women and gays. You are allowed to go to Morocco.
Yeah.
You got my permission.
Thanks, Dan.
I would suggest, again, just to reiterate, it would be very, very beneficial for you to learn a little bit of Arabic instead of relying on a little bit of Français. Have I said that wrong?
No, Français, French.
Tried to do it in a French accent, lads. It didn't work. It's an Arabic country, not a French country.
No, but if
make the effort and learn some Arabic basics, and it will amplify your experience, especially in the market. Go and shake a man's hand and say Salam alaikum.
They do appreciate French as well, because that's obviously they do speak that probably more. Well, they do speak it more than English. But yeah, the Arabic. When you learn more than the usual Salam alaikum, they looked really surprised at you, didn't they? And they had a bit of a laugh with you, and then they were asking like, "Oh, do you live here?" and stuff, and you were like, "No, I've just learned." They were really impressed, and then actually you were able to have some
very good authentic interactions.
Yeah, it was lovely. And then they were trying to like help you with your pronunciation, weren't they? Like, and then depending on whereabouts we were, one was saying say it with a l at the end, and then one was with like at the end, and they all said it like differently, didn't they?
Labes is are you okay? Then Hamdarella.
Yeah, they all corrected you differently.
Help me!
But they love it, and they really did appreciate it, didn't they? And then actually, I believe we actually got some better deals as well at some of the markets, because they really do appreciate 100%. It. So it does go a long way to spend that little bit more, and it's lovely interacting with people, isn't it? Like, let's face it, and it went a long way, didn't it?
Yeah. So finally, the big question that everyone is wondering.
I'm sure you already know the answer from what we've just been saying.
Should you go and visit Morocco?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now you finish this episode.
You fully ruined it.
That was brilliant. I think that was funny.
So guys, that is the end of the video. Like it if you've liked it.
And please let us know in the comments if you are considering travelling
to Morocco.
And yeah, if this video helped you like make a decision or give you some like
we'd love to know. And if you've been to Morocco,
helpful, please.
Was it for you? You know, we've certainly had someone tell us off for promoting Morocco. So let us know. Did you enjoy it?
And have you if you've already been, like, do you agree with what we've said, like with our pros and cons, and is there anything you would like to add to it or something? Yeah, please do comment and let us know. And then, you need to hit that subscribe button.
Like the video, subscribe to our channel,
please.
And we might do another episode.
Maybe.
Maybe not. See ya.
See you on the next one.